It's Thursday, what is it? Thursday, the 31st of May, 2018. A very good evening to you. Welcome to Bracknell and today's United Kingdom talk. We had so many, I've had a terrible day. Oh my God, I've had the most awful day today. For a start, we were doing the show earlier this morning. You couldn't hear me. Well, that isn't the start, actually. Shall I go back? Let's go back. Let's go back in time. Oh, yeah, back in time. Now, incidentally, there is now an audio-only stream we are testing out tonight. Now, I don't know if I'm not sure that that's working. I should have something in front of me, actually, and it's not there. That disappeared a moment ago, so I don't know if that's still working or not. Let's have a look there. It might be working, then again it might not. I should be able to see some little things going up and down in front of me, but I can't. Now, where have they gone, I wonder? They were there a minute ago. It's strange. They've disappeared, so I don't know if that's working. Perhaps if someone could tell me if that's working or not. So I'm just trying out. It's very, very basic at the moment. You should be able to click on that link and just get audio only through however you want to listen. For example, on a mobile phone. The issue is, some people have said, Stuart says it's working. Okay, Stuart. So the reason for this, it's a twofold issue for this, actually. There's been a couple of internet radio stations that have shown an interest in rebroadcasting the show, but obviously it's radio, okay? And there was no audio stream before. The other issue was, if you're out and about and you wanted to listen to it, you couldn't listen to it without having a phone on with a picture rolling by, okay? And of course, as you know, if you're listening via YouTube or Facebook, once you take down the site, it goes off. Whereas with audio, like with music or something like that, as you know, if you're playing music on your iPhone or other phone, whatever you've got, then it just carries on. You turn the screen off, but the audio carries on. Well, I'm hoping that this will solve that problem so that you can now sort of listen if you want. Why anyone would want to listen to this old crap, I don't know. But there you go. You can listen to some old git sitting in the spare room talking to himself into a microphone. What's all that about? What is all that about? But you should be able to now listen on the phone, for example, today, if you're going out somewhere with the headphones on like that, and that's it. Okay? So we'll see how that works tonight, and we'll keep it running. I've lost the little meters that go up and down. I don't know where they've disappeared to, but apparently it's still working, so we'll keep our fingers crossed there. Yesterday, I must say, it was lovely and warm in the swimming pool yesterday when we went swimming. Actually, I went on my own yesterday. Nice and warm yesterday. And yesterday, at last, I've ordered my toilet rolls. Who orders toilet rolls online? You don't, do you? You go to blooming supermarket and spend about 12 quid on 2 rolls, don't you? Have you ever bought toilet rolls from Marks and Spencer's? They're like 3 quid for 2 rolls. Blimey! I mean, my bum isn't so important that it needs to have £1.50 spent on a toilet roll. No, you're doing it all wrong. You are. If you go on this site called Woucher, WOUCHER. Right? Woucher.com, I think it is, something like that. And it's got all these things on there that are dirt cheap. And I bought yesterday 120 toilet rolls for just £32. Thank you. Money in the bank. 32 quid for 120 toilet rolls. So that's, oh Christ, how much is that? Is that about 50 pence each? One moment, please. 120 divided by 32 is... It's 37 pence each per toilet roll. That's all right, isn't it? And the only thing is, I bought these before and it does say buy a year's supply worth of toilet rolls. And they seem to be gone in 3 months. I don't understand it. It's only me living here. Mind you, it's my mate who comes round. My mate, when he comes round here, for some reason... he always has to use the damn toilet. Let me tell you, all the windows have to be open afterwards. It's like he waits until he gets here so that he doesn't have to use his own toilet water and paper. That's what I'm sure it's him. How can you get through 120 toilet rolls in 3 months? Well, I seem to have done so. Don't know why. Maybe there wasn't 120 to start with. But there we go. That's what you want to do. Go on Voucher. You can buy 60. I think that's about 16 quid. If you just buy the 16, it's not that much dearer, like about 50 pence for the whole lot. So it's £32. That's including the postage, okay? £32, and at some point in the next couple of days, a little man will turn up and knock on my door. I say, hello, your toilet rolls are here. And then, after having saved it for so many days, I'll be able to grab them off and rush in the little boy's room and finish myself off. You know what I mean. Yes, looking forward to the toilet roll. So I ordered those yesterday for £32. Shall we say hello to some people? Because I know there's a lot of you there today. So a very good evening to you. If you're new to the show, welcome along. I'm usually here around about 9:30 in the morning. Now and again, we do a nighttime show. So welcome along. If you're wondering what all this is about, it's just some old bloke who sits in a room talking to himself for about an hour. And it's very light-hearted. We don't do much serious. I have got a little serious thing here today that I wanted to talk about that I've seen on the telly, so I'll come to that. But generally, it's fairly light-hearted, not serious. Sometimes we open the phone lines, sometimes we don't. It just depends. It just depends, really. It changes all the time, okay? So let's say hello today to, who's got the first message in tonight? Mr. Andy Baker. Good evening, Andy. Welcome to the show, Andy. You get the first message. It's always a special thing to get the first message in. Yes. I was listening to one of my friends, one of the Facebook... I haven't looked, actually, who's here yet. He might be here. It's probably here, actually. Tom Gulley. Now, he also does a chat show. And I managed to pick it up last night. And it's very similar to this. It's very, very similar to this. And he's got a proper mic. It looked like he had the same microphone as me, actually. I don't know if he's here. I'll have a look in a minute. This is those of you that are technically interested. I'm not. Funnily enough, I'm not technically interested. All I want to do is sit here and talk. That's it. But for those that are technically interested, this is a Behringer, I think it's called, a B2 Pro, which is about 10 years old now. See, you spend the money early on and it pays off. Buy cheap, buy twice. That's what I was told by a dear friend of mine who's no longer with us. So, yeah, okay. Hello to Paul Dale. Good evening, Paul. Mr. Slimmer's World 2018. Hello, Diane Jebb. Evan's there. Good evening, Evan. Stuart Skinner. Now he says, evening. Hope the audio stream works. Yes, we've got it running. And you were up there somewhere, weren't you? I'll come back to that in a minute. Hello to Heidi, doesn't like the music. Well, that's the music for the whole of the summers, Heidi. So much that you hate it, you'll hate it even more by the time I change it again. That music will be on there for about 6 months. 6 months. I'm not changing it again just for you, dear. Just because one person doesn't like it. They love it. I get private messages here. We love the new music, Chris. Yes. Interestingly, if you listen to the audio-only stream, Heidi, you get different music at the moment, because I haven't quite worked out how to do that. It's all in its infancy. In its infancy, yes. Good evening to John Child. Good evening, John. That time you turned up at the karaoke again. We've forgotten your face, love. We've forgotten your face. Hello to Joey Millen, who can hear us loud and clear. Shania, evening Shania on Isley Widget. Hello, lovely little Phoebe. Phoebe's there. Danny Gibbs, good evening, Danny. Dean Hoggart. There's Tom Gulley. We could hear you. You're just a stickler. Just a stickler. I am, Tom. Unless it's working properly, I'm not happy. Believe me. Believe me. And I'm surprised, I'll be absolutely honest with you, I'm surprised this morning I left you with a smiling face. Because believe me, once that camera was off, I was fuming. I was fuming. But being a professional that I am, I didn't let you see that. What happened this morning, boys and girls, if you just joined us, is that I tried with this audio stream this morning. I was doing something and I lost a lot. It was only about a quarter of the audio. Unfortunately, what happened was that I listened to one person who said that they couldn't hear us. Now, this is often and I've made this mistake so many times before, where you might have 10 people watching or listening. What have we got now? 19 people watching. That's million, incidentally. That little number in the top screen is millions. You only see 19 or 18, 17 in the little black box. That is actually millions of people. Okay? They can't fit the word million into the black box. I don't know if you knew that, Tom. You know when you're doing your show and it might say 8, that is actually 8 million. Just remind your viewers of that, darling, okay? It's 8 million. They can't fit the word million into the box, so they just put the figure instead with a little eyeball in the top left-hand corner. So you might have 18... you might have 18 million people watching you, okay? No one says a word, and then one person says, oh, I can't hear you, right? And then those 17 million people, you forget 17,799,000, whatever it is, they suddenly, you forget about those and worry that one person can't hear you. And 99% of the time, the problem is at their end. Because if it wasn't at their end, everyone else would tell you that they couldn't hear you. A couple of people say it sounds a bit quieter. But in my mind, oh, something's gone terribly wrong. No one can hear me. I'll have to stop and try and sort out what's on. I was late this morning as it was. I'll come to the reason for that in a moment as well. So that's why, okay? Thank you, Stuart. He said it's working lovely. Excellent. Razvan says, when can we join you live? You can't. Just listen. Listen and enjoy, Razvan. Sometimes we open the phone lines. Sometimes we don't. I've got a lot to get through today. And so not at the moment, okay? Probably not tonight. Hello to Kim Whip. Kirsty. Good evening, Kirsty. It's my favourite Oompa Loompa. Oompa Loompa la-da-da-da. Oompa Loompa la-da-da-da-da. John says, you will be headhunted soon for national radio. John, listen, I hate to break it to you, John, right? I've been doing this for 13 years. First of all, as audio only, and then as the video for about, I think the video's been going about 10 years now. Someone of importance will have seen this by now. I'm not what they want. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. I'm not really. I want to be on the telly. I'm happy with that. I'm happy that I am able to sit here and do a show exactly as I want to do it. And there's no one to worry about. If they wanted me, someone would have contacted me by now. But I'm not what they want, and I accept that. You must accept that, John. A lot of people often send little nice, kind messages in like that. Oh, you should do this, or you should do that. No, someone would have seen this by now. And that's just the way it is. Once you accept it, you can move on, and carry on doing what you love. There's certain things in life, I think, often, if you have bad things. Let's choose one of the worst things that can happen. Okay, your parents dying. Okay? That's one of the worst things that can happen. And they die, and for ages and ages, you're very upset, and you can't move on. And eventually, once you've accepted that there's nothing you can do about that situation, you will never forget your parents. If you're lucky like me and have had wonderful, wonderful parents who were faultless, I can sit here, look you straight in the face and tell you my parents were absolutely faultless. I cannot tell you of one single incident where they let me down. I can tell you a million and when I let them down. Okay? And I used to beat myself up about that, but now I see my my sister's children and then their children's children, how they are to them. And it's a similar thing, you see. I'm not saying that they let them down, but you know what I mean, don't you? When I see that, well, okay, well, perhaps that's just how it is. Children let their parents down. Once you accept that, you can kind of move forward a bit. Don't mean you're happy with it. Don't mean you're happy that your mum and dad's dead. But until you accept it, you just cannot move on. It's one of those things, So it's a similar thing to me sitting here. The fact that I won't be on the telly or on the radio, that's okay. I accept that. And if I look at it this way, I'm not doing this for the money, am I? There's no money. No money. A lot of people think I get £250,000 per show. No, not a penny. I'm just happy to sit here and chat to you. I'm very happy to sit here and chat to you, and that's it, all right? Thank you, John. Tom, Costco or Sam's Club has toilet paper by the case for pennies on the wipe. Really? We don't have one of those here. Costco, I suppose really I could go into restaurants or something like that and with one of those keys or something like that and nick their toilet rolls, couldn't I? I used to do that in a pub. No, horses wouldn't drag it from me, no. This is absolute truth, I didn't buy a toilet roll for 30 years. I used to nick them from the pubs I worked in. I had a cupboard full of them at one point, full of them. I nearly had to build an extension just to roast the toilet rolls. It's true. Anyway, eventually they run out, unfortunately. They got wise. They used to lock them around when I point. You know, I never nicked all these bars I've worked in. I've never nicked a drink or anything like that. Toilet rolls. I used to do and pens. Toilet rolls and pens. Who nicked toilet rolls from work? Come on, you do, don't you? I know you do. Yes, I know you do. Hello to Russ, who's listening only. Thank you, Russ. Evening, Ross. Russ, good evening, Matt Joplin, who is a DJ. A DJ. Mary, good evening to non-Irish Mary from Ireland, who says, my cat is playing eating a mouse. Well, leave it alone, dear. That's a natural thing, Mary. It's not nice. We don't like... I mean, when you sit there, people like you make me laugh, Mary. What are you having for dinner later, eh? Bit of roast lamb? Huh? Dead pig of some sort? Couple of pork chops? Piece of dead cow? And you're moaning about your cat playing with a mouse, dear? No, exactly the same thing. It does make me laugh, these people that say, Chinese is a terrible place. China are a terrible place. They eat cats and dogs. And you're sitting there eating a pig. They're far more intelligent than dogs and cats, dear. Can you tell I'm a vegetarian? Oh, yes. Vegetarian bordering on vegan. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. I do like the little Baby Bell cheeses, don't you? Lighter. At Slimming World, we can have 3 of those a day. I only found that out the other day. Gosh. Andy says, do I win a roll of toilet paper? No, I haven't got any left. I've only got one bag of about 12 left. That could all be gone later. Knowing the amount I get through. Tom says, do I do a similar show? You're far more cheerful. No, Tom, your show, I enjoyed your show last night. I had it on I had it on in the living room. I turned the telly off. To watch you, Tom Gulley. I turned the telly off. He's in America, Tom, American lad. And but his setup is good. I don't know what your setup is. Perhaps you'll talk about it on your show later and I can watch it. But mine is, I've got proper camera. I say proper. It's only a webcam, a Logitech webcam in front of me. So most people do these shows. They've just got their mobile phones in front of them like that. You see, and that's how it works. But he had a proper, he's clearly got some sort of proper mixer in there and microphone, this, that and the other. Now, can I just tell you, there is a text in number as well, boys and girls. If you want to text the show, you can do. The text number is up there. 07551 259 675. That's a new thing that we got now, okay? 07551 259 675 is the texting number. And I'll read out your text. Jerry is sending a text in. Good evening to Jerry. Maureen might be with us later. I don't know if you're with us, Maureen. If you're with us, Maureen, can you just ask me this question? How do you know when the show's on air? Because you watch on a telly. Does something tell you that we're on? Be interested to know that. All right, Maureen. Hello to Anne-Marie Rimmereed. Good evening, Anne-Marie. Welcome to the show, my sweetheart. What's the link to Tom's show? There isn't one, but if you click on Tom's name, which is within this Facebook thing, then he'll tell you there, all right? Hello to Alan Russell. Danny Davis is listening on the stream. Good evening to James Dean. Evening, James Dean from Tameside Radio. FM for the whole of Manchester and beyond. Online streaming stations. Yes, good evening to you. Hello to Andy. I said hello to Andy. Let's have a look. There is a storm coming. Hello to Callum Walker. Good evening, Callum. We're streaming now, Callum. If you have a little look on the let's have a look. Got a radio server that you can use if you want, a radio station. Callum, if you look at the top of the thing there, it tells you the little thing to click on, and you can listen there. Okay. Evan has put a little camera. Evan is one of our people that join in. Good evening, Evan. He's got a little camera and he's set it up in front of a bird box. And he sent me a little video that, it must take forever. You know when you see these wildlife programmes on the telly? And they've got like cameras of birds, I don't know, an eagle. They can wait for days to get those shots. Do you know that? Absolutely days to get those shots. It's brilliant. Anyway, Evans set up a little camera on a bird box outside his house and been sending me videos of the little birds coming in and out, visiting their eggs. Eggs. Don't eat them, dear. Don't eat them. Good. Let's have a look there. Good evening to Dominique, who's in Canada. Good evening, Dominique. Hope the weather's nice for you. It's very grey and dreary over here. We kind of had a thunderstorm earlier and a little bit of lightning and a little bit of rain, but it wasn't overhead. I think it was a little bit further over. I could see flashes in the sky. Have you ever seen a flasher in the sky? It's frightening, it really is. Evening to Merlin. Over on YouTube, good evening to Paul Mosley in Birmingham. Good evening. He says, save some money. Use the toilet roll both sides. Oh, God. I bet some people do that, don't they? You know, before paper toilet rolls, was it made out of cloth? You know, did you have to wash it like a nappy? People used to, that's what we had when we were children. Cloth nappies, dear, made out of toweling. It worked. I used to wash them. Hopefully not with the other clothes. Oh, there's some awful nappies about, isn't there? Hello to Capital Tyres. Good evening to Sir Chris Reardon of the United Kingdom Talk Broadcast Service, who says, I'm looking very well. I'm feeling very well. I'm very brown at the moment. I'm sure I was black in a last life. Those of you that believe in reincarnation, I think I was probably black or brown in a last life because I'm quite bright. All I need is a little bit of sun. Bang, gone like that. Have you noticed how black people are very, very lucky with their looks that they do not age? I am absolutely serious. Black people do not age. There was a bloke I went to see in Caribbean place, St. Lucia. St. Lucia. And we all went on this trip, you know. And he's sitting by the river and he's saying, he was giving it all crap, actually. He was giving it crap with the salesman talk. He says, you're wondering, how old do you think I am? So we're all guessing, you know. 38, 42. No one said higher than 42. And he's like, I'm 61. Wow. Wow. And do you know how I'm 61? I use this. And he come out with this bar of mud. I kid you not. It was a bar of mud. Right? And this is made from all these streams and all that. He said what they do is collect them all together and make these bars. And you can buy one today for $10. All the Americans are lapping up all these bars of mud. I'm sitting there quietly chuckling to myself. I don't know if he was 69 or 61 or not. But certainly black people are very, very lucky with their screen because you can't see the lines. It's brilliant. I might even consider going out with someone my own age, as long as they're black and not white. Exactly. Yes. We can't go out with people who look their real age, can we? Evan, I was asked about my opinion on toilet paper. I replied, well, on the whole, it's pretty good. I love it. I love it. Yeah, look, Andy says, I remember when we used to use newspaper to wipe our backsides. If I bent over, I'm sure you could read yesterday's news. Oh, when we used to be in scout camps and places like that, you'd often have someone who would cut up square bits of paper and put them on a piece of string. Not a pleasant experience, I have to tell you. Tom, in the US, before therapeutic toilet paper, they used corn cobs. I don't know. I don't understand it either. Oh! Tony, do you remember the slippery toilet paper that used to be in little square boxes with individual worse than using dog leaves? Yes, dock leaves. Dock leaves, do you mean? Do you mean dock leaves? Hello to Elaine in Israel. Good evening, Elaine. Congratulations on winning the Eurovision Song Contest. With that awful song, dreadful song. People have actually, interestingly enough, people have said to me about the Eurovision Song Contest when we've got into conversation that, the message of the song is good, which it is. The message of the winning Eurovision song is good. But I don't listen to the message. I listen to the music and the tune and the rhythm. You know, it was awful. Awful song. Message, fantastic. Girl singing it, lovely girl. Actual song, crap. Absolute load of crap. How on earth did that win? The Ukraine song was so much better than that. Good evening, Sarah Lou Lace. Evening, Sarah. Phoebe's upstairs watching while cleaning her room. Get on with it. And good evening to the delightful Angela Washington, who I'll be seeing in September for the Barry Manilow concerts. I'm going on Saturday as well now. We're having lunch, I think, again, Angela, aren't we? We're having lunch again. Capital Tyres says, toilet roll shortage in pubs, all because of Sir Chris Reardon. That's right. Dear me. So, now, the little serious thing I wanted to talk about today is I watched a programme on the BBC iPlayer last night, or yesterday afternoon, rather, I beg your pardon, called Killed. I think it was called Killed by Debt. Can I just check that? I think it was called Killed by Debt. And it was the most awful story. Yeah, I think that's the one. That's the one. And I don't know if anyone saw that, but it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. It was about this young boy. He was 21 years old, and he was struggling through his life, and he got this job to work for one of the courier people, a Spirit Drive or something like that, Spirit Bike or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of the company. It doesn't matter anyway. And his job was to go and pick up packages and deliver them somewhere. And he struggled through life, and then he got this job, and all his parents, his mum, and I think it was her boyfriend. I don't think it was his real dad, but that's neither here nor there. And what looked, I think, like the rest of his family as well. They were all pleased for him and all. Yes, excellent. And he was all excited, going to earn all this money, this, that, and the other. Anyway, you know how it is when you're young. So he starts doing the job, and the money isn't as good as he thought it would be. But nevertheless, he was earning money, so he was happy. Now, he made a couple of mistakes, unfortunately, on the road. One was turning right at a no right turn, and one was, I think, parking somewhere where he shouldn't have parked. And he got these 2 fines, £65 each. I think they were £120. This is what happens here. I don't know what country you're in, but over here, this is how it works. You get a fine through the post for probably £130, okay? And then halfway down it'll say, if you pay this within 14 days, we will reduce the fine to £65, okay? So when you get a fine like that, you want to pay it. End of, right? Unfortunately, this boy didn't quite have the money. He wasn't earning the money to pay this ticket. So very quickly, the £65 fine became £130, right? And he's like, struggling with this. But he didn't tell anyone. And if you remember, when you were a young person, to get a fine like that, I'd be terrified. I wouldn't want to tell my mum and dad. Oh, the shame. I wouldn't want to tell my mum and dad at all. But I am watching it. He was terrified. But he carried on doing his job. And then, because he didn't pay that, it went up again. And again. And again, he was getting his letters and kind of like that, what do I do? And all this stuff. And then he started looking up stuff on the internet about people who have got debt and how they dealt with it. And he's watching this, but he's looking at the figures. And then I think he made a payment of like £5. That's all he could afford. £5. Okay? So the letters just kept coming. And then eventually a bloke turns up at his door. And then his mum's boyfriend pays half of the fine. And they set up a plan to repay it. The repayment plan worked out to something ridiculous like £125 a week. Well, he was only taking home about 60 quid. So it was completely impossible. But when his mum and her boyfriend asked him, oh, no, it's all under control. That's all right. And I'll pay you back as well. Now, he made the mistake here of paying back his mum's boyfriend first. You can understand why he would do that. You can understand that. I mean, if I owed my dad money or some council or government department, I'd want to pay my dad back first, wouldn't you? Yeah? So that's what he did. And then he got into trouble again, and he couldn't see any way out of it at all. And he hanged himself. And it's a true story. It's a true story. It was like what do they call it? Like a documentary, but with other bits put in. Whatever that's called. Docudrama, I think it's called. And it was very good. And it was very, very touching. But you can see how that happens. How is it, right, that someone who might be earning £1 million a week, and there's a few of those, not me, unfortunately, there's a few of those earning £1 million a week, and some people are on these 0-hour contracts who don't know one week or the next whether they're going to get £10 or £100. And yet, the fine is exactly the same. Now, that sounds pretty unfair to me. I gather with speeding fines now in this country, it's a bit different. And you are fined. You are fined by how much you earn, which sounds a hell of a lot fairer way to do it. Now, this boy had been in contact with the people that he owed the money to, the debt firm, and it was Camden Council. I mean, some of you, as soon as you hear the word Camden Council, okay, then you are probably, I understand now. Because they're vicious. You owe money, that's it, they will come over you. And there doesn't seem to be anyone you can talk to. He rang up the debt company and said, look, can we set up a payment plan? No, I'm sorry, we need all the money in one go. They weren't even willing to talk to him. This is what I couldn't understand. And then when the bloke come round to see him, and he was a right arsehole. This bloke who came round to see him was a right arsehole. He was playing the I'm the big man and you're the little boy. The boy was terrified. 21 is no age. It's no age. This boy was terrified of this bloke. So you've got to pay the money, otherwise we take your bike. Of course, if they take the bike, then he can't work. He can never pay it back. But no one was willing to set up a proper payment plan. He didn't seem to have anyone to talk to. Why isn't there a phone number for people to ring like this? Debt, whatever. Well, actually, there is. There are debt people who can help you. Free of charge. I think possibly government departments. But he was obviously too terrified to ring one of them. It's all very well saying, well, here's the number, just ring it. It's not as easy as that. When you owe money, I would assume. I've been very lucky throughout my life. Very lucky. I've worked from when I was in school. I've never really had a debt that I couldn't pay. Never, ever had that. So perhaps I'm the wrong person to be saying all this. But for a young person like that to owe money, and he had nowhere to go, and he ended up hanging himself, and it was horrendous. And it's so wrong. It's so wrong. All these councils, there wasn't, and it was all automatic, done by computers. A camera takes a picture of your blooming bike or whatever you've got there. It automatically sends a fine. Everything's automatic. It's all about the money. And there's no one you can talk to in the council. So a boy died. For what? 2 £65 parking tickets. Or traffic offence tickets. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So if you get a chance, watch that programme. It's on BBC Three, which is just an online... I don't know why they call it BBC Three, but there we are. It's a BBC Three show, and it's called Killed by Debt. It's very good. You might be a little bit weepy doing that one as well. And it's also very real, okay? Have a little watch of that and see what you think. All right. Evan said he should have taken legal advice. Mum's boyfriend needed shooting for not being persistent in finding out the truth. Well, the legal advice is there, Evan. But as a young boy, you're frightened to do anything, aren't you? Some people are. He would have been frightened to go to anyone. That's how it came across to me. Alan, footballers earn £250,000. How stupid is that? Yeah, and if they get done for a parking ticket, it's still 65 quid. That don't make sense at all, does it? Doesn't make sense. John, in my job, if we get fines while seeing clients, we can claim the money back. Yeah, he couldn't. The company he worked for, there was so many restrictions. I mean, talk about working for the company and not yourself. Awful. Good evening to SOS Gregorian. Welcome to Throw. Julian says the skiddy toilet paper was Izal. That's right. I remember that, Izal. We were talking about toilet paper earlier. Tony, on the subject of the Eurovision, he said it was a terrible load of rubbish. It was a total cringe. An overweight lady rabbiting on about she is large and proud of it and that she is different. Well, I don't have a problem with that, actually, Tony. If people are big and they're happy with it, and so be it. So be it. I got the message, but the song was awful. The song was dreadful. The Israeli song was dreadful. I don't have a problem if someone's overweight or massive and they're happy with that. That's okay. If you're not happy with it, then do something about it. It's as simple as that. I saw the message. Okay, I get the message and all that. You want to be different. You want to be out there. You want to be accepted. I get that. But please do it with a decent song. Johnny Logan would be turning in his grave if he was dead, but he's not, fortunately. Carry on, Johnny Logan. All right, don't forget, if you want to text in, you can do so. It's 07551 259 67... Forgot the number now. Is it 1? I can't see the number. How annoying is that? 675, that's it. 07551 259 675 is the text number if you've got on a mobile phone, okay? And that's how that works. So that was the programme last night. I said to, and while I'm sitting there with my mate, I said, is this due to the government, all this, why this has happened? He said, well, no, not really. Because, of course, Camden is a Labour government. I thought, is this something to do with the Conservative government? No, it's a Labour government. I don't think you can blame the government. It's the councils who do this. It's the councils. They're desperate for money, and they seem to collar drivers as much as they can. I reckon drivers must be the council's biggest source of income after the council tax, which it seems half the people don't pay anyway. Do they? So I don't think you can blame the government for something like that. Good evening to Mark Newton, Estate Agent of the Year. Oh, yes. Mark runs an estate agent. Don't dislike him for that. They are quite reasonable people, honestly. Estate agents are all right. He runs, I think it's in North London somewhere, like a rental thing. I mean, I've got places. When my mum and dad died, I put my money into flats. Out here, actually, where I am, and it's all done for an estate agent. It's so much easier. If you're ever thinking of buying another place and renting it out, do it through an estate agent, because there's all sorts of legal loopholes and that, and you will come unstuck if you try and do it yourself, I tell you that. Especially if you need to get someone out. You don't want to be going and doing that. You pay someone to do that and be done with it, all right? Whetstone, very nice. I nearly had a job in Whetstone. Now, where was that? A pub in Whetstone. I was going to do a karaoke, but unfortunately, they didn't come back to us. Nice pub. Nice pub. There's a main road, right? So there's a main road going through Whetstone. If you're coming away from the North Circular Road, you'll be on the left-hand side. And, oh gosh. It's on the left, and there's a little road that comes off the road, and it's almost like a little parking space in there. And it just stops. So it's like a junction. Like a railway junction. So you'd either go straight on or you'd slightly come off, and that stops there. It just stops. I don't think you can go all the way through. Can't remember the name. The Griffin. Could well have been the Griffin. Could well have been the Griffin. Not quite sure. Run by a very, very good friend of mine, Mark, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So one of those things. The quiz last night. The quiz was quiet last night, unfortunately. Although we had a great team from Marks and Spencer's. The Marks and Spencer's team were playing at the quiz last night. I do a quiz every Wednesday at the King's Head Theatre Bar. And Marks and Spencer's staff, you all think a little bit prim and proper and all that and all nice. Oh, not once they've had a drink, love. Ha, 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 ha. They were shouting and dancing. What a lovely group of people. I have to say, and apparently they all work at the Marks and Spencer's in Islington. So maybe I'll pop in there next week before I start work. Also, the new karaoke. We've got a new karaoke starting Sunday nights. That will be at the King's Head Theatre Bar from Sunday, June the 10th. So it's not this Sunday, the Sunday after, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight, okay? So King's Head Theatre Bar, Islington, karaoke, Sunday nights, 9 p.m. till 12 midnight. And we're looking forward to that. Good evening, Shane. Welcome to the show. Joey's back again. Did you disappear, Joey? And you're back again. 1 minute you're there, then you're not. Make up your mind, dear. I'm sorry, did we get boring earlier on? So you turned back on to see if there's anything more interesting again. I mentioned Tom Gulley, of course. He's here somewhere. If you look along here, he does his own shows as well on Facebook Live. Very, very similar to this. It is really similar to this. You get the quality with the sound and all that. So watch him as well. Similar to mine, as I say, but no mirror ball. He doesn't have a mirror ball. I'm the only one with a mirror ball. No, I'm the only one on Facebook Live who has a mirror ball. You might get a DJ doing it, but they don't talk. The DJs don't talk. It's like, and let me tell you, when I was DJing, I didn't do any of that. I don't think they're actually doing anything. It's just all a show, isn't it, really? Oh, I've got a bit too much flesh showing there, look. You were very excited then. It's not some sort of Cam 4 show, you know. Please, not having anything like that. So that was yesterday. So this is where it kind of went wrong a bit. I got back in from work last night. This is where it starts going wrong now. It's such a long story today, isn't it? I haven't got time for news stories at all. And you wanted the phone lines up. We've got time to take calls, dear. I've got time to take calls. So last night I had the most terrible night's sleep, and I don't know why. Now, I wasn't uncomfortable in bed until about 6 o'clock. Right, so last night I came up here. I wanted to try and sort out the audio-only stream. So I came up here, and as far as I was concerned, I had it going. It was working, right? It looked like it was working. The little lights were going up and down like that, which... So when you talk in front... I don't know if you can see this on here. 1 minute. It might be a little bit too far away. Number 2. Let's try number 2. Can you see that? No, you can't. Oh, can you? Yes, you can. Can you see this here in the middle? Here. Look, here. Right. Can you see that going up and down as I talk? Yeah? Right. So similar with the audio stream. That's got a similar thing, except it goes up like that. I don't know why. I can't see that at the moment on here for some reason. I think it's disappeared somewhere, but as far as I know, it's working. Right, so that was all going up and down, all well and good. So, okay, that wasn't too bad. So I set that up, and then I went to bed about 2 o'clock, which is about normal for me. But any time between 12 and 2, I go to bed. So I went to bed at 2 o'clock, and I closed my... And I could not get to sleep last night. It wasn't particularly hot. Besides, I've got the air conditioning in my bedroom. I can turn it on if I want to. I wasn't particularly hot. I just couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, God, you know... I wasn't uncomfortable, not yet. And then I think I might have drifted off a couple of times for about half an hour. Then I got up to have a wee. I couldn't get back to sleep again. Eventually, I woke up at 6 o'clock. It was 6:15. 6:45 I woke up. Because I looked over at the clock. And I'm thinking, oh, Christ, I don't think I'm going to be able to go back to sleep again. So it got to about 6:05. And I thought, oh, God, no. I'm going to have to get up. And I looked at the clock. Usually I get up at 8 o'clock. Now, if I got up at 10 o'clock, I wouldn't mind so much getting up at 6 o'clock for an hour and then going back to bed again for 3 hours. But no, I like to be up at 8 o'clock, you see. That's the time I like to get up in the morning now. So 5%, I thought, I'm going to have to get up. I'm not going to go to sleep. So I got up, made myself a cup of tea, and I had a banana. And I put on an episode of Lost in Space on the television downstairs. And I've been watching this other programme on Netflix. Excellent film, The Circle. The Circle. And this programme is about a group of people who they've brought all together. And they live in like this circular thing. And they want everyone to see everything that everyone is doing. So they've got these little cameras and they're all wearing these cameras and you see everything unless they go to the toilet, and then they've got like the camera goes off, I think, for 4 minutes if you're going to the toilet or something like that. And it's all these little things set out. And it's a great film. It's a very good film. Emma Watson is the lead. Emma Watson, you know, the one who was in the Harry Potter stuff. And Tom Hanks is in it as well, who's a brilliant actor. Really, very good film. Do watch that. It's called The Circle, and I won't tell you any more about it. But it reminds me, I'll tell you what it reminds me a bit of, Twitter and Facebook. Twitter and Facebook. Now, obviously, I come and do these shows, and I turn a camera on, and I do this, and then when I finish, I will turn the camera off. Some of these people, they had cameras on them all the time, and you could see everything they were doing. Everything they were doing. Really weird. No, not for me. We want to choose when we're being seen. This is my argument with these blooming cameras all over the place. I don't want to be seen everywhere. And some people say, yeah, but if you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to worry about. That's not the point. I don't want to be seen every time I go and do something. It really is Big Brother, isn't it? So watch that film called The Circle, okay, on Netflix at the moment. So I watched the end of that. Then I watched an episode of Lost in Space, and I went back to bed about 7:15, 7:30. And this is why there was no show this morning. Well, part of the reason why there was no show this morning. So I got up then at about 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. So I've missed my 9 o'clock show, 9:30 show. And I had my breakfast, which was the overnight oats in the jar type thing. Came up here to do a show, fired everything up. And then I saw this button on the thing, and I thought, I'll push that and see what happens. I'll push the show. So I run the music, as always. Excuse me. run the music and the opening film as I always do, and then I started talking, and then some people said we couldn't. The sound level was a bit low, and then one person said they couldn't hear it properly, and I took notice of that. I took notice of that one person, and I did a few little bits. It's now like 11 o'clock, and I'm running late now because I've got stuff to do. I'm running late, and my mate was coming around at like about 11:30 to take us swimming. And so the show didn't really happen. So I did 10 minutes of mucking around trying to get the thing working, and I couldn't do it. Anyway, as luck would have it, the moment I closed it down, I thought, well, I'll have a quick look and see if I can fix it. And immediately I found out what the problem was. And by pushing this button, I turned all the levels down. The thing is, you've got to look for them. It's like on the computer, the recording mixer had been turned down. So I just turned that back up again, and then my lights started going up and down again. I thought, right, well, that sorted that out. So that was that. Let's just go on to some people here. Let's see about these messages coming here. Tom Gulley is waiting for the international karaoke dating service. A few girls on the last one. I stole my heart. What's that karaoke dating service? Is that how you meet your ladies? I don't know what that is, Tom. Expand. Oh, no, talk about that on your show later. We'll watch that. And Tom says The Circle is kind of about a Google sort of kind of poor Hermione from Harry Potter. That's right, The Circle. You've seen it as well then, Tom. Excellent film. Really good film. Funny ending. I expected a bit more, but there you go. Tony has seen The Circle. There are some great films on there. I watched the whole series of Riverdale and Spartacus. Loads of Netflix. I can't compliment it enough. Netflix is fantastic. For 10 quid a month. That's all it is. 10 quid a month for Netflix. You don't need Sky. I'm telling you that now. You do not need Sky. Just get yourself on Netflix. Hello to Megan, who is Alan's daughter. Welcome along to the show, Megan. Daddy's washing up. Yeah, makes a change from you, doesn't it? Make sure he does all the sweeping up. Get him to clean the house as well before you go to bed tonight. That's what I say, Megan. All right. Good. So that was the Netflix thing. And the problem I had with the show. So then we went swimming, okay? So we got there, we're taking our clothes off, we got into the pool. Oh, my God, there's so many people in there. There's so many people. Of course, because the children are on holiday. Now, I understand that. That's fair enough. You know, it's one of those things. I'm not one of these people that goes, oh, the bloody kids are in the way. No, that's completely unfair. They've got just as much right to be in that swimming pool as you. You know roughly the times that it's going to be empty. The fact is they're on holiday at the moment, so it could be any time, so you can't really judge it. So half the pool is full of children, which is all right. The other half of the pool is supposed to be for adult swimmers who go round in circles. Now that works quite well, unless you've got someone slow in there, right? It's not a massive pool, and there were 5 people in there. Now that's busy. For that going round and we're going around in a circle, 5 people, one of which is incredibly slow and doesn't get out the bloody way, do they? It's so annoying. They don't get out the way. Gosh, honestly. Paul says I get Kay Burley for £40 a month on Sky. Yeah, rather you than me, mate. Sky's free. Sky News is free anyway. Get that on FreeSat. I get Sky News. Now I'm going to watch it. That fat git on there, Adam Boulton. Oh, ain't he awful? I was watching him this morning. He is dreadful. He's just like he's just horrible. Adam Boulton on Sky News. Hello, welcome to Sky News. His jacket must be about size XXXXL. And it's just something about him that's nasty and smarmy. Like that other bloke on Good Morning Breakfast. Now, what's his name? Piers Morgan. He's slimy and all. Don't like him either. Anyway, back to the story. So I got in the swimming pool and managed to get around a few times, but instead of doing my usual 60 lengths, I only did 20 lengths. The girl was in there. There's a lovely girl. She's Chinese, she is. Oh, is she Japanese? I can't remember now. I think she's Chinese. She's from China. Lovely girl was in there. She's always very pleasant to me. And she swims at a speed, right? And some old bag said to her once, she said, oh, you're going a bit fast in it. Well, it's a blooming adult swimming lane, you silly old cow. Can't you see that? Get out of the way. Go in the other side if you want to swim slowly. But no, they don't. They think they got a right to swim as slowly as possible where everyone else is trying to go 10 to the dozen. I mean, we're not massive fast swimmers. Swimmers. Who's a swinger? Are you a swinger, Tom? I reckon you're a swinger. Hey, have you got pampas grass outside your house? Have you? Have you? We're not professional swimmers at all, but we like to go at a speed. You know, if you've got someone there, there's 5 of you going around on the front crawl with the breast, and then someone decides to do backstroke at like 0.5 mile an hour. Get out the way, dear. So I just did 20 lengths and we come out and had a shower. And we'd planned our day. So then we went out to something to eat. So coming on that in a moment. Paul says, practicing my Harry Cokey. Are you Harry Cokey? Andy, Stranger Things on Netflix is good as well. I don't know that one. Evening to Paul and Robert. The lovely Robert Dale is with us this evening. Good evening, Robert. I love you, Robert. Is it Robert Dale? Robert. It's 2 Roberts, Black Robert and White Robert. White Robert is with us today. I can't remember. Robert. It is Robert D, isn't it? Aren't you? Yeah, I'm sure it's Robert. I can't remember your surname now. I know who you are, though, lovely. I know who you are. You've got that little blue thing next to you on the table in case, you know, have a quick suck of that, my love. He's great, one of those asthma things, you know. He's a great singer, actually, Paul. Paul's a great singer and Robert's a great singer. He does Stars by Les Mis. La, 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 la. You sound much better than me, I know. You don't have to tell me that, my friend. Hello, Rob. Paul loves swimming in the sea. Do you? Oh, I don't like that. Do you know, I don't like that. You get the salt in your eyes. Oh, don't you hate that? I remember being in a swimming pool in Australia once. And it was next to the inlet, you know, where the ocean comes in. Well, no one told me it was salt water. Of course, I've opened my eyes. Oh, the stinging, dear. The stinging. I hate salty water in your eyes. Paul says I'm very fattest against fat people. No, I'm not. Who's calling who a fat git? Who's calling who a fat git? I'm not calling anyone a fat git. Who am I calling a fat git? Excuse me? Only the bloke on Sky News, if you don't mind me saying so. Adam Boulton, he needs to go to Slimming World. I think I should take him down there. It's working for us, isn't it, mate? Let's be honest. Paul's lost a lot of weight on the Slimming World as well. Lot of weight. Much more than me. Tom, 50-yard freestyle in HS. Now, a hot tub. Stranger Things is very good. Hot tubs, no. No, I don't like a hot tub. Don't like a hot tub. Bacteria and all that. Dirty people sitting in there. Oh, no. No hot tubs, please. I don't like the idea of that. Thank you very much. Adam Boulton, that's the one. That's who I was saying. If you don't mind. He's on the telly. There to be criticised, the same as me. Criticise as much as you want. I don't mind. You carry on, old boy. All right. Adam says I wouldn't swim in the sea because of the seaweed. Seaweed. The seaweed. Do you get it? Yeah, I get that. Paul, Adam Boulton, you're right. He's got much for... He's enormous, Adam Boulton. Enormous. But that doesn't really bother me. It's just a bit smarmy on there. Smarmy and slimy. You know the word, don't you? You know the word. So after we went swimming, we thought we'd have a bite to lunch. And we'd already decided to go to this restaurant, Bill's. Bills. Now, it's a chain restaurant. They got a few places up and down the country. And the Bracknell one is relatively new. We have been there once before. And we had a halloumi burger and chips before. So we thought, well, we go there again today. So we got there round about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We had to pop back to Ronnie's house first, because he had the gas man there, the British gas man. He was very, very nice man. Very nice man. Who was, we were talking to him. He's doing his Ramadan at the moment because the Muslim people have got Ramadan. So they can't eat. They can't eat between, I think it is sunrise and sunset. That's a long time. That's a long time not to eat in it between sunrise and sunset. You would think they do it in the winter, wouldn't you? You know, then you'd only have a few, not so many hours, but nevertheless, they do it now. I was talking to him about that. I said, that must be difficult. He said, for the first week it is difficult. Then you kind of get into it. But I always thought that the Ramadan thing, they don't eat anything. Oh, no. No, they don't eat or drink anything. They can't even drink, not even water. Unless they have medication to take, because he was telling me this. If they have medication to take, they're allowed to drink, you know, obviously a bit of water to take the pills down and all that. But they can't drink or eat doing sunrise and sunset. So presumably, I don't know if many of them. I would presume they would get up early to have like a massive breakfast or something like that to carry them through the day. But the boy who cuts my hair at the moment, he does the Ramadan as well, and he was telling me, But I said, what's the difficult time? He said, round about 1 PM it starts. You really get hungry. So, and I said to him, well, we're lucky as Catholics, for us to be forgiven for our sins. All we have to do is say 10 Hail Marys. That's it. They can't eat for hours. Wow. Anyway, so I had a nice conversation with him, and then we went to Bill's and we sat there. Thank you, Paul. You're very kind. Thank you, Paul. Adam Boulton could become a Target member. Might take him a couple of years to get there, I think. Or 10. Anyway, back to the story. So we went in Bill's and we sat down there and there was tables outside. And I thought, it's all right. We'll sit outside today under an umbrella. Right? Because generally I don't like to eat outside. I like to be under something. So they got these great big umbrellas there with heaters. Obviously, the heaters aren't on because it was quite hot. It was overcast, but I thought that's all right. And the sky is getting darker as we're sitting there. I thought any minute now it's going to burst into flames, the sky. And eventually the girl comes. She was quite pleasant, lovely girl. She said, can I get you anything? I said, well, we'll have 2 Cokes. And we ordered our dinners. And we both ordered the same thing, basically. Halloumi burger and some garlic bread. This was my treat of the week. As you well know, I have a treat or 2 every week. This is my treat this week, so we're having this. All right? So with the Slimming World thing, I said many times to you, there is a plan that you stick to, okay? And then now and again, you can go out and have a little bit of a blowout. It's hardly a blowout. I mean, I consider a blowout is when you eat so much that you can't eat anymore. Or we're just eating things that you wouldn't normally eat, okay? And that's nice. So we've ordered this. And then about 10 minutes later, the drinks arrived eventually. And we're sitting there. And other people are coming. And they're ordering stuff and getting their food. A lot of them come. And my mate says, shall I say anything? I said, don't make a fuss. I'm not one to make... Believe it or not, I'm not one to make a fuss. I know you'll find that hard to believe, but I don't like to make a fuss. So I said, no, leave it. Anyway, we left it and left it and left it. After about 35 minutes or so, my mate said something. And she said, I'll go and check. And no one came back. So eventually she's come back out again. And we asked again. She said, look, she said, I'm really sorry. I'll go back out and check again. She said, this is the day from hell. I said, go on. She said, we got loads of customers, no staff. She said, this is the worst day and I'm glad to be leaving here today. She was leaving that day. And she said it was the worst day they've ever had there. Anyway, Ronnie then went in and saw the manageress and came back and we sat back down. This was about after 40 minutes. Now, bear in mind, all we've ordered is 2 halloumi burgers and some chips. That's it. I haven't got to go and kill something or anything like that. 2 halloumi burgers and chips. Right? And to start with, we said, can we have the garlic bread quicker? Then, because that don't take long. She said, oh, no, only 10 minutes. Well, we're now sitting there 45 minutes past. 50? At 55 minutes, I went in to use the toilet and I come back out again. I said nothing. And at an hour, I lost it. I'm very, very patient. I'm a very, very patient person. But eventually you get pushed so far and you think, oh, right. I said, right, come on, we're going. He'd already been in there and she'd wrote off the drinks. She'd wrote off the 2 drinks. And all it was Pepsi-Cola or Coca-Cola in bottles. We've had 4, so 2 each. We had 4 bottles of Coca-Cola. This is Bill's restaurant in Bracknell. So I went in there and I said, where's the manager? And that's her. She come running over. She said, can I help you? I said, yes, we're going now. We've been waiting an hour for our food. Oh, do you want me to go and check? I said, no, I don't want you to go and check. We're going. Okay? We're going. Goodbye. And I went out, walked out the door. That was that. And as I was walking past, I was swearing quite a lot. Because I was really annoyed now, really annoyed. How can we possibly sit there waiting an hour for burger and chips? So really disappointed and so different from the last time we were there. Everything worked the last time we were there. Horrendous. Sat there for an hour, no food. And of course now it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. We'd sat there for an hour. So we walked down the road and we went to TGI Fridays. We've got one of those in town now. It hasn't been open for long. And we went in there, average service in there. Thing is with the TGI Fridays, they're really friendly. They are trained to be really friendly and they're very good at it. Hello, how are you boys? I said, how quick can you be? She said, I can be quick. Okay. So we ordered in there, I think, again, they didn't do halloumi burger, so I had a veggie burger. He had a chicken burger and some garlic bread. And that came, it wasn't spectacularly quick, but it was about an average wait time. Maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe, something like that. And it came over. Although I thought the garlic bread might have come over a bit quicker, seeing as we mentioned we were hungry, but it didn't. It came over with the main courses, and I had a cup of tea and the most delicious vanilla milkshake, I must say. Oh, that was to die for. That was really nice. So we had that in there, and paid the bill, and we were very satisfied that we'd had the food there. Of course, by now it's now like 4:15. 4:15 in the afternoon. I wanted to go to the garden centre and see if they got any rhododendrons down there. Because I want to put a couple of rhododendrons in the communal bit outside there. But we run out of time. We went over to Waitrose. What did I get in there? In Waitrose, I went and bought some Greek yogurt. I went and bought some Greek yogurt in Waitrose. And then I came home and then went to bed. And I've come up here and here we are chatting. And that's been my day. So a difficult day. From the moment I went to bed last night up to when I started this show today, because this has worked quite well. This has worked nice. I'm pleased with tonight. I'm pleased. You know, I've got up, I made my cup of tea, sat up here, got the audio thing, which I think is working properly, as far as I know. And this has worked properly, and we've had a little bit of a chat, and that's been nice. So I think the day has turned at last. The day has turned, all right? Your messages coming through there. Tom, I don't like to be that person at a restaurant. I'd just rather finish my drink, pay the bill and leave. But an hour is just becoming unreasonable. Oh, it was awful, Tom. I think, actually, Tom, that's the second worst experience I've had in a restaurant. The worst one was in Euro Disney, in the Rainforest Cafe. And it was worse, not because of the time. It was roughly the same time we were waiting to be served. It was worse because we had my nephew and his wife and their helper and 3 children with us, sitting there starving. You know what I mean by starving. Starving. And that was even worse. That was the worst experience. Today was the second worst experience I've had in a restaurant. Disgusting to have us wait all that long. I don't understand what happened. What happened at all? But there we are. They will be getting an email. I always write an email or a letter or something like that to the head office, and we'll see if we can get anything out of that. But it's wrong. That's wrong. Tom says a restaurant really is all about its management. Oh, yeah, it must have been the management. The girl was run off her feet. They didn't have enough staff there at all. No staff there whatsoever. So there we are. That was my day today. Awful, wasn't it? Awful. I don't think Maureen's with us tonight, actually. I hope Maureen hasn't texted and it's not worked, because Maureen was having a problem. Maureen is one of our wonderful karaoke singers. She comes along Monday, occasionally Fridays as well. But she was having trouble texting the phone some time ago. But I think we sorted it. I don't think. I tell you what, Alan, you couldn't text Maureen and ask her to send me a text. Cause she might be. Oh, hang on. What is it? Is it Thursday? Oh no, she'll be down to Quebec tonight, wouldn't she? I think she goes down to Quebec to the karaoke on the Thursday now, from what I gather. All right. There's my day. Now, I've got a couple of news stories. What's the time? Oh, God, have I been sitting here? It's 9:20. 9:20. Blimey. I'll tell you what. I'll do one little story for you, and then we'll disappear, because time is moving on, dear. And I want my dinner now. I've got my dinner downstairs as well, even though I had that massive lunch 6 hours ago. But I've got a Slimmer's World dinner. Yes, I've got some rice to boil up and some sin-free campfire stew. But that's really nice, Paul. Paul, I don't know. Do you like spicy stuff or not? Do you like spicy stuff? If you like, Paul, I could freeze one of my campfire stews and bring it. Would you be interested in trying that? I wonder. Although, actually, it'll melt, because the time you go home, it'll all melt, won't it? Maybe not a good idea. I don't know. Anyway, do you remember Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, yes, on Sega. Well, in the Daily Mirror this morning, it says, or this evening, he was one of the most iconic gaming characters of the 1990s. And now, Sonic the Hedgehog is back in the form of trainers. Children all over... I say children. It's we are the ones who played Sonic the Hedgehog first, aren't we? Forget the children. We want these. We want these. Sega, the firm behind Sonic the Hedgehog, have joined forces with Puma to create a line of Sonic the Hedgehog shoes. I mean, they say shoes. They look like blooming trainers to me. People are getting confused. There's shoes and there's trainers. They are not the same thing. Sega, the line, it says they're not shoes. They're trainers. I'm telling you now, they're trainers. The line includes 2 pairs of trainers, one inspired by Sonic himself and one inspired by his arch nemesis, Dr. Eggman. Dr. Eggman. The top 4 video kids games I'm getting addicted to and what parents need to know about them. Oh, it's something else. Why am I reading that out? I've got the wrong thing here. The Sonic-inspired pair are mainly a textured blue with flashes of yellow and green, much like the character. I've got to say, they look damn good. They look really good. Meanwhile, the Dr. Eggman-inspired pair are mainly shiny red with yellow and black striped panels, as well as additional details inspired by the machinery used by Dr. Eggman. The Sega shoes, they're not shoes, they're trainers. The Sega trainers will be released in Europe on June the 5th and in the US on June the 12th on Puma.com at selected retailers now. It's unclear how much they will cost or how many pairs will become available. Are these going to be these £120 trainers? I bet they are. I bet they are. Don't buy them straight away. Leave them a few weeks and then they go down to half price, don't they? I'm not one to spend £120 on a pair of trainers. I'd spend it on shoes, yeah, proper shoes. Not trainers, though. Wouldn't spend that on a pair of trainers. Andy says, I loved Sonic. Half my childhood went on Sonic the Hedgehog. Did it really? Hello, Adrian. Welcome to the show. I thought you would. So I like the sound of having a pair of those trainers, to be honest. One more story. I'm going to do this now. I'll do this story and then I'm going to go. And we'll do the birthdays as well, okay? Because I'm very worried about this. Ever had fleas in the house? I did once. I kid you not, I had fleas in the house once. Actually, maybe I'll save that story for tomorrow. Shall I save it for tomorrow morning? I'm going to save that story for tomorrow morning. I'll save that story for tomorrow morning. Remind me to do it tomorrow morning if I forget, okay? I'll be with you tomorrow morning around about 9:30 in the morning. I should be here tomorrow. Okay, if you fancy joining us for a little bit of a chat. Let's do today's birthdays then, boys and girls. Let's find out our birthdays. They haven't come up. Why haven't they come up? Here we go. Happy birthday today. Oh, we've got quite a few today, haven't we? A lot of birthdays today. 53 years old, Phil Nash, who comes along to the karaoke. Oh, he has. I haven't seen you for a while, Phil. On a Monday night. Where have you been, dear? Come and sing for us. We're getting very busy. We need your voice. Phil Nash is a very young 53 years old today. Happy birthday, Phil. Sarah Hammond today, 32 years old. Happy birthday, Sarah. Vissolela. Beatrice Lucas, 25 years old today. Pamela Height. One of our Manilow girls. Good evening, Pamela. Are you coming to London, Pamela? Looks like we made it. Happy birthday to Pamela. George G. Burden. Happy birthday to you, sir. John Edward McBride is 30. I'm not very good at accents. I'm sorry, John. Happy birthday. The young 35 years old today. Happy birthday, John, okay? James Lawson. Happy birthday to you. Jamie Osborne. Look at that pose you got there, Jamie. Pose on your Facebook like that. Pose. Happy birthday, Jamie. Hope you're well. And international cabaret artist, and she's been in films and on the telly, Dave Lynn is today, I think, the big 7-0 today. Am I right? Or the big 6-0? No, it's the 6-0. Oh, dear. I'll be crucified for that one. The big 6-0 today for Dave Lynn. Happy birthday to you all, gang. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. All right? There we are. That's it then. Thanks ever so much for joining us on our nighttime show. Hope to be with you tomorrow morning at round about 9:30 in the morning. Rough time. Anytime sort of between 9:15 and 9:30 I'll be here. Set your little notification things on YouTube or whatever what you watch and you get the notifications. And we'll run the audio stream as well for anyone who wants to listen to it on a mobile phone while they're out and about. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. Thanks for watching and listening. Cheerio now.